Hey friend, Jacopo here. Today I woke up in the mood for sharing our method on how to create and launch a high ticket offer that is brand new that you want to test on the market. So many people get confused on what to do and how to structure something that feels good in your body that you can sustain and then can build the foundation of your next chapter of your business. So today I'm going to walk you through my 7 steps on how to craft your next 10K offer and launch it potentially next week or next month. This episode is not for people just starting out. I'm assuming a lot of skills being acquired already, and then you already have an audience and you are producing content and you're already selling something. If you haven't done any of that, this video is not for you. This video is going to be great for online creators that are serious about scaling sustainably. They maybe have gone through burnout like we did. I'm going to tell you a bit more about it in a second. Maybe they want to turn a unsustainable product like, I don't know, a low ticket membership or a low ticket course into something that is more predictable in terms of monthly recurring revenue and it's higher ticket. We're going to do this in 7 steps. So let's start. A little bit of a background about me. My name is Jacopo Di Luigi, and with my wife Alessia, we are the founders of Lazy Dancer Tips. Lazy Dancer Tips was a project that we started back in 2016. Alessia was a professional ballet dancer. I was a visual effects artist. We both lived in London for 10 years, and life was, in our careers, pretty successful, but it was draining, and especially for Alessia that wanted to get more like a consistent income, because in between shows she tried to teach and she would come back home frustrated that she didn't find a place to teach or they wouldn't hire her because she didn't have the piece of paper even though she had 20 years of experience in the field. And everything started from me asking her, what if we just push the couch in the kitchen and make some videos about the people that you want to attract and see if we have some traction? Fast forward 8-9 years later, that became a YouTube channel that now has more than 230,000 subscribers. We've built an online business selling courses, memberships, and we made more than $1 million selling this type of digital products, but we also burned out in the process because what we did, we scaled a spaghetti monster business full of many products that had to be interconnected with many funnels, rotational promotions, a team of 7 people, and big complex funnels, big complex launches in order to keep the traffic and the sales coming in to sustain the monster machine. And I don't want you to do any of that because it's such a heavy weight to carry when you want to grow a business, taking you out of the equation. So this system that I want to walk you through today is a way for you to tailor a way of selling your product in a way that's around you. It's not you working for your business, it's your business tailored around you that also fulfill your mission if you have one, and if you just want to make money, if you want a specific lifestyle, this is how you do it. And this is one way of doing it, is what we found is working more in harmony with our lifestyle. This is the way that I personally feel more fulfilled, waking up in the morning, serving people in a way that makes me feel like I'm not constantly overworking, I'm not constantly feeling abused, but I actually wake up excited to not just sell something, but to help the people that paid me money to hire me and fix their problems. So for example, if you are into coaching, if you're selling any online services or even in person, this is perfect for you. But let's suppose you want to launch a new offer. Maybe you never sold high ticket. Maybe you never done high touch coaching. This system is really what we do with all our one-on-one clients. And I know I wanted to distill it down for you to have the framework to do it yourself. I remember back in the days, we made our first 100K with videos on YouTube just like this one. If you are one of the brave ones that actually take the information and run with it, this video will give you all the steps to create a new high ticket offer now in about a day and then launch it next week if you have the skills. So let's start. Now, the first step is, and many people skip this, and if you skip this, none of the rest will work, is defining what your ideal life is. Now, I don't want you to think about your ideal holiday. I'm not pushing you to think about, oh, I want to just lie down on the beach and drink pina colada every day and have massages and walk on beaches all day. We all need a rest, we all need a holiday at some point, but I'm pretty sure if you did that every day, you become pretty bored pretty quickly. I totally would, because I'm constantly, I'm a creative as well as somebody that can structure things. If I don't do anything for more than a day, I get super bored. So what I'm talking about, the ideal life, is what would you picture yourself doing every day? Well, of course, it's not going to be exactly every day, but generally speaking, what would excite you to do every day? And I'll give you an example. Like for me, it would be to wake up naturally without an alarm and immediately going into a coffee with my wife, spend some time talking about ourselves and sharing some insights, then immediately going to the gym and work on my body and maybe learn something through a podcast or an audiobook. This is me. What is your morning routine? Then when I come back home, I want to have shower, lunch, and start working right away because I need to channel my energy into something. That's probably either creating content that I feel like doing, just putting on the camera and chat, or serving clients in a way that doesn't feel like I have to stay in the house. Therefore, I craft my offers in a way that makes me flexible, in a way that I can go out and coach people on Voxer as I walk in the park, stuff like that. Now, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but this is my perfect afternoon. I wanna serve people and feel useful and work towards my business in a way that it's sustainable for me. And then in the evening, I don't want to think about business, I don't want to think about sales. I want to spend some time maybe sharing a glass of wine with my wife or with friends, going out, exploring new places, and being able to take a day off whenever I want. Now, what is your definition of ideal day? Something that if you could do that every day, you would be happy. That will define so many other steps in the process, because if you start imagining how your life is going to be, then your business the decisions that you will have to make will need to fit inside the template that you designed for yourself. Like, of course, there are phases in business. It's not that you can just chill every day and have the perfect life. There are phases where you might have to push because for a month you want to promote something very heavily because maybe it's the first time you do it and you need to learn. I know there are going to be phases, but generally speaking, you want to craft a business that it's in line with your life, not the other way around. So sit down and spend some time thinking about your ideal day. Step number 2 is to, after you define your ideal day, you want to define your ideal client, your dream client. By dream client, I mean not just anybody that can give you money for your services or product. I'm talking about the people that you actually enjoy spending time with. You might have had some of these people in the pipeline in the past. Think about those, like the people that paid in full or they had no problem paying you because they saw the value immediately. You didn't have to convince anybody. Then when you started working with them, they would take notes and go out, implement, come back with feedback, get results, and then tweak and go again. These are the people that I personally want to work with, and it's usually people that paid me the most. So I don't want to work with people that maybe have a scarcity mindset, they never invested in themselves, they're just at the beginning phase. This is me. Maybe you like working with beginners and maybe that's your inclination. Just make sure you really are clear on who your dream client is. And if you've had these dream clients in the past, I highly recommend you to book a Zoom call with them, as many as you can, so that you can ask questions about, 1, why did they hire you in the first place the first time? What was the main problem they were trying to fix? and what they believed you had the solution for. Don't prompt them. Ask them, because you need their language for the next phase. Because once you're clear on what their problem is and why they came to you, they will uncover your superpowers. Your superpowers is something that somehow it's always hidden to creators. When we have to think about what we are good at, we usually think about the things that we take it for granted, or the things that we are really good at but we don't want to do. But if you've already had a relationship with amazing people that got results from you and you enjoyed working with them, ask them why they hired you and they'll tell you what your offer is, basically. Alessia and I decided to take the 7 steps and compress them into a intensive that we wanted to deliver over 2 days. So if you want to create your next 10K offer, 20K offer, high ticket offer that without overthinking, without worrying about it, you want to get down to business and get it down and out and test it and sell it next week, we are doing something just for this month of July where we work together for 2 days, 3 hours a day, 2 consecutive days, where we go down and we analyze your business, what you do, your niche. We go through your ideal life, your ideal clients. We craft an offer that makes sense, and we do all the things that I've explained in this video for you to have an offer that can sell, be ready to sell within the next week or so. If you want more information about how to join, there is a link in the description box below. We only have 4 spots available. Check the link below to see if this is for you. Which brings me to the 3rd step. The 3rd step is crafting your ideal offer. When I say crafting an ideal offer, I'm not talking about start creating module for a course, start building a sales page or anything like that. And I feel like this is the place, this is the spot where everybody start getting confused and overwhelmed, because there's just so many moving parts and you can branch off into so many directions, and clarity will fix all of this. Now, after you've decided on the first 2 steps, you should have a very good idea on how you want to run your life and why your ideal people will hire you for. So think about one title and a sub-headline to explain what a new offer could do for your ideal client. For example, what we have is a 4-month co-creation offer where we go through your content, your offer, your vehicle, your architecture, and your launching strategies. We simplify everything, we make it sustainable for you, and you'll be able to scale your business sustainably in a way that's wildly profitable, but also keeps your sanity. Crafting an aligned offer is finding the one thing that you can explain with one sentence that when people hear it, they would say, I need that. How can I work with you? We've got an entire process to distill this down, but this is what we work with people. We want to force them to analyze all of the data that they gather by talking with their ideal clients, to understanding exactly what they need and what they want and how to phrase it based on their language, not our language. If you have on paper a one-liner that says, this is what I do for you, this is what this is for, and these are all of the structure of features and benefits that I can deliver, then you're golden. In order to find the right features, meaning the deliverables, what are you gonna do? You need to refer back to your ideal life. Because if you are thinking about, for example, doing a 4-month or a 6-month coaching program, does that fit into your ideal lifestyle? For example, if you're only used to do group cohort, meaning that you start a specific day, you run for a few months and then it stops and then you have to start all over again. Does that excite you? Is that time well spent for you? Repeating yourself over and over again, or maybe doing this one-on-one, along with the offer, what you can do and for whom. What is the vehicle attached to it that is in line with the way you want to run your life? For example, I personally love one-on-one. Working one-on-one for me is my sweet spot. I go very deep on the specific cases, and I like to nerd out on every detail of the offer. I like to co-create and have people do the work together. This is where I find magic. But Alessia, for example, she doesn't want to do one-on-one. She wants to grow communities. She likes group calls. So what is the vehicle that you prefer? This is how you can tailor a vehicle of an offer around what excites you and what feels light to deliver. So I want you to put yourself first here. Don't think about what can work or what will work. That is not the priority, because if that works and anything works but doesn't work for you, it's not going to be sustainable and the whole game will go down the drain. So at this point, you should be very clear about your new offer. If you're not, let me know in the comments about where you got stuck and if you have any questions. But if you do have a good offer to say, okay, I think I've got a good grasp of the vehicle, how to structure my offer, how to deliver it. So for example, one of our clients went from sporadic one-on-ones with a course that couldn't sell into one core offer that was a high-ticket membership, let's say, where she had a curriculum already built out. She would gain access to her clients for a specific amount of months, and then she would coach them month by month. And after the 4 months, people can stay in the community by paying every month. So it was kind of like a high ticket membership, but it felt like a group coaching environment. So we structured the offer specifically for the outcome that she wanted to create for her clients, but also around her lifestyle. So think about what would give you joy delivering, but also would make sense financially. Because in the past we made mistakes. For example, we spent more than a year building a curriculum for a course that we offered for a set price, and in order to create the offer as irresistible as possible, we added in unlimited coaching forever, which was very retarded of us, because the problem you have when you offer something that it's incredibly good on paper, but it's not sustainable, this happens. People pay you advance, they get in, they haven't paid much probably, so they don't take it too seriously. They go through maybe the curriculum, but then they start not showing up in the calls because they're not paying anymore every month, and you promise that you should be there. This creates a disservice to the people that you actually want to serve, because they're not going to show up anymore, and you're going to show up and not feeling retributed for it. So your energy will fizzle out, their motivation will go out the window. Craft your offer that makes sense financially and also strategically to be around your lifestyle. Once you're set on an offer, it's time to create your offer doc or your landing page. Now, I've got an entire program on how to create a sales page, but I want to distill it down for you so that you are ready to sell it today if you want to. To keep it simple, we're not building out a long sales page. This is one offer doc. The offer doc should start with the title of what it is plus the description of what it is. Usually you want to have something that is memorable as a name that also kind of explain itself, but then underneath you should explain what it is. If it's a coaching program, for example, explain how long does it last, who this is for, and what kind of problem you want to solve. So this might be a 4-month co-creation program for a line creator that want to scale sustainably with an offer that it's in line with their lifestyle, something like that. The name and the subheadline has a mini hook that would make people saying, okay, this is exactly what I need. Let me see if that's for me. Underneath it, I would immediately put that, who this is for, but most importantly, who this is not for, because you don't want to position yourself in a way that feels needy or that you're asking for the sale. This is for you if this and that, if you're this, if you're that. You want to repel the people that are not fit for this offer because you've had bad clients in the past. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking the people that, yes, pay you, the next month the credit card fails because they really didn't have any money. They were looking for the quick fix. they are doing something that is not what you told them. They come back, they blame you for it. You don't need these people in your world. So without being judgmental or condescending, make sure you describe who this program or product is not for, because the right people will see that you're repelling people and will immediately think, I like this person. They're not attached to the sale, therefore I know they're the person for me. This is the dream client psychology works this way. The less you sell, the better you sell. After you've gone through the headline that explains what it is, you tell who this is for and who this is not for. You want to explain your method in very simple bullet points. Again, we have a process to do this, to sort of extract your method, but your method is very simple to extract. Think about what you would do when somebody hired you today. Write down all of the steps of your process, and then after you've done it, it might be 10 steps, it might be 100 steps, zoom out and have a look at the entire process. And then from there, extract 3 to 5 phases of your program, because that's how you can then go back to your offer doc and say, in phase 1, we basically do this, and we'll go through 1, 2, 3, and 4. In phase 2, we do this. So people see that if they want to go from A to B, in between, you've set the stepping stones to get there. So their logical mind will say, okay, this person has got a path figured out. He's not or she's not just winging it. I think I get it. I think I can do this. That is the point of your method. After that, simply explain why you are an authority in what you say, a little bit of your story, a little bit of authority pieces where you've actually share what you've accomplished for yourself. This is not bragging. This is you projecting your energy in wanting to help people, so they are convinced you are the inevitable step if they want to fix their problem. You are their guide, and therefore you need to step into the leadership version of yourself if you feel like you're not there yet. Step number 5, after you have your offer doc, you're ready to actually send the doc to people. I wouldn't suggest you to do it right out, cold to the open market. Assuming you have an audience, you can contact them via email. Here's what I would do. I would, if you can think about a few people, I would say 2 to 3 at the beginning, that you could ask them for feedback, sending them the offer doc. Hey, I was thinking of you. I know we worked on this and this and that, but I've just come out with a new offer that I think would be amazing for you. Could you help me see if this would be a good fit for you, or if you know anybody that might benefit from it? And then start a conversation from there. You might get a yes, you might get a no. That's totally fine. You're gathering data. If you find 2 to 3 people that said yes to this, step number 6 is to actually get paid to build the curriculum. Because I'm not a fan of group cohorts or one-on-ones where you are stuck on Zoom calls teaching exactly the same things over and over again. What I like to do is I like to do the job once, and then if it's good enough, I want to leverage it so that I can let people learn from a video, for example, and then come back to me with questions that could be live. This is leverage co-creation. You don't have to constantly be the course. You can leverage it with either AI tools like ChatGPT or trained GPTs, processes, structure, frameworks, videos, audios, whatever feels good to you. But you do it when people actually pay you to do it, because that's a confirmation that the market needs what you're offering. So I would start with the founding member sort of offer to your closest circle. You get people all the way to the end, you get them results, you collect some testimonials, you get some interviews as well. What they went through, what went right, what went wrong, and then you refine it from there. Then at this point, you've made some money, you've helped some people, you've built your curriculum with your founding member offer. Now it's time to refine everything you've learned from the experience in terms of offer, language, and curriculum itself. If you want to reduce some parts, reduce some parts. If you want to streamline and remove some things, do that. Adjust everything based on what you've learned. Now you're ready to send it to the market and test it for real. But launches have been a very heavy part of our business back in the days. It usually was an exhausting 6 to 10 weeks of pre-launch, launch, post-launch, millions of videos, content, email automations, and free events that we had to organize. It totally works, but I don't like that anymore. So what I'd rather you do is to take all of the data that you gained within this process and create content in a way that makes you feel alive. So forget about the algorithm on Instagram. The carousels have less discoverability than reels. I want you to clear your head about all of this nonsense and just try and create something that feels honest and true deep within your soul. Because if you do that, that would create resonance. So you start echoing a signal out to the people that you are trying to attract. I highly recommend you would just create content that feels raw and true to you for a good amount of time without asking for anything. At some point, you want to have a call to action. At some point, you want to get people in your list. So having a lead magnet or free training, I highly recommend you to grow your list with your content so you start building momentum and demand for what you do. And then at some point, I will carve out a week of your month to maybe do a paid workshop. This is one way of doing it. It's not the only way. So take what feels good and trash what doesn't. But if you do something that it's paid for, maybe it's one tiny chapter of your program. You teach it live, and maybe you revamp the module. You sell ticket to the public, so they actually invest in this piece of content. So they already said yes to something to you. And then as you deliver the workshop, you can also mention that you opened 5 spots, 10 spots for your new program. And the right people will ask you to join and to send them the details, which you will do. You send them the offer doc, and then you'll have a conversation after that, one-on-one at the beginning. This is all manual stuff. Until you have something manual that works, automations, funnels, retargeting thing, forget about all of that. You have no idea what to retarget or what to automatize unless you've done it few times manually first. So AI, love AI, so helpful. But first, let's use a human eye to sort out the things and be at the human level. And then the repetition of things we can fix later with AI. This is my way, the 7 steps for you to launch an offer next week and start building the foundation of a business that makes sense, that is sustainable on a long term. So let's recap. The first step is to design your dream life, because if your business is not tailored around you, it's not going to be sustainable. Step 2, design who you want to work with, the dream clients that will get you excited to wake up in the morning to serve them. You want to create a aligned offer that not only fixes the biggest problem of your dream clients, it's also in the vehicle, in the container that respects your boundaries and your standards, your dream life. You don't want a complex funnel for this. You just want an aligned offer doc or sales page to send the right people to. Invitation only. So the right people will see the offer doc, the landing page, and they'll come back to you with questions or with a yes, please send me the payment link. The way you do that, you test it to market. That's step number 5. You reach out to your most ideal clients, if you have them, and send a proposal with this new offer, or you send a bunch of emails to your list to see if there is some initial demand for it. If there's not, ask them why they didn't take the offer and get feedback on that too. So maybe you can tweak the offer again and go again until it works. Once you find 2 to 3 people willing to pay you for this new offer and they're excited, this is your founding member offer. It's going to be the cheapest ever. It's going to be the highest touch ever because you're going to build the curriculum for them. Step number 6 is actually getting people to pay you to build version 1 of your curriculum. You don't have to close yourself in the office for 6 months to do that. You could do it while you serve people and getting paid for it. Once your offer is validated and built out, that's when you launch. There are a million ways of launching. I suggest you do it with a paid workshop. We run free workshops, paid workshop, they all work, but I think I like to get paid for my time, especially because it filters out all the tire kickers out there, and we're all tired of them, so we want people that are already committed. Don't make it too expensive. 50 to 100 bucks, it's enough for filtering out the people that are not committed to you at all. This is how you build a list of buyers as well. And this, my friend, are the 7 steps on how to craft and launch your offer within the next 7 days.